Well, good morning, y'all. It's Paul from Go With The Flow Couple. Just here doing a little bit of work with our new trailer, Terry. You've seen a video probably of us when we picked up Terry or when we were looking at Terry and bought her. And there's a couple of things, you know, as you get new vehicles, new trailers, you want to customize them, make them your own. One thing that we really liked about our old trailer and also with this one is that it has a set of MORryde next generation steps. Those step aboves that go all the way to the ground and provide a nice stable platform for you to move up and down. However, Terry has one set of MORryde step above steps at the rear entrance or the main entrance, but at the front entrance or the bedroom entrance, it has the regular pull-out steps. So I got in touch with MORryde and started looking. Now, we're not sponsored by MORryde, nor do we have an affiliation, but we were able to get the steps from them. We actually went through a third party. They suggested going through a third party because it would be less expensive for us. And so we picked up a set of steps and a storage box that replaces the stairs that are right here and gives us a little bit more storage area. So today what I'm going to do is install the steps and install the storage box. So follow along with us as we get the work done. I was really pleased. I worked with two different companies. The storage box came from Tweedy's RV, and the steps came from E-Trailer. And I was really pleased working with both these companies. They came in with free shipping, and I got them in 2 days, which was, to me, amazing. So we'll just unbox them. And the storage box is going to go in first. I'm take the steps out. And it really seems to be a simple process. You've got these two mounting brackets. And the box itself. The two mounting brackets and the storage box itself. And I looked at the instructions, and there's really only about 6 things that you have to do, and it's a pretty simple install. What we'll have to do is take the old steps out, install the mounting brackets, then install the box. The next is the steps themselves. And again, I've already looked at the instructions. I really do like these step above steps by MORryde. They go all the way to the ground. They're easily adjustable, and the new models are lock in place. Our old ones didn't do that. The legs are fully adjustable easily with just a push of a button. They slide out and slide back in with the same push of the button and lock in place securely. So I'll show you more of these as we get to them. So we're going to pull these steps out and we're going to put the box in place. So the first step is going to be pretty easy. We just have to remove these steps, which there's 2 bolts on this side and 2 bolts on the other side. And I'm going to get started doing that. Okay, like I said, pretty straightforward. There were 4 bolts, 4 nuts, all 9/16, and the steps have come out. It did make a little bit of noise when I pulled the last bolt because they just slid right on down to the ground. Now it's time to install our hanging brackets. All right, so the mounting brackets are in, and it was just a matter of lining up the holes and measuring and making sure it was in the right spot. And so now I'll install the box. Put the washers in place. All right, so it's pretty straightforward. Once you've got the brackets in place, which I've already shown you, then you slide the box in, you make sure it's centered, make sure your holes are lined up, and then it's just a matter of installing the bolts and nuts to hold it in place. Now it does have these two other nuts on here that their purpose is to keep it from shifting left and right. So they've already been installed, and all I have to do now is, once I get it tightened down on the bottom, I'll move those jam nuts in to make sure that it stops it from moving side to side. So really a pretty straightforward installation.
So what do you plan on storing in there?
What I'll store in here is our wood blocks, our other like the orange stack blocks and things like that that are kind of dirty and also just kind of take up a lot of room inside the base. And it's installed. Simple as that. Okay, so we're getting ready to install the step above steps by MORryde. This is generation 2. And one of the things I really like about these, MORryde does apparently listen to customers, because some people had told MORryde that the distance between the top of the hinge plate and the first step was really too short on the first generation steps. And it was really difficult to get it adjusted so that your doors would close without scraping. So what MORryde did was they increased this distance from here to here by about 1.5 inches. So it really did make a difference. It's made a difference so far with our other set that's down there, and this set is almost identical to the set that came with the camper. As I've already said, MORryde, we're not an affiliate with MORryde. I contacted them. They suggested where I might go to get a good price on their steps. I did, and the steps came from E-Trailer, which also is not affiliated with us, but they have all kinds of supplies for your RV. The installation instructions are pretty straightforward. There's only 7 steps, and that includes making sure that it operates smoothly. So let's get started installing these MORryde step above steps. The first step is to remove the threshold transition plate. And that's just going to be a matter of removing these 3 screws. And the transition plate is out. All right, next step is to just put the steps in place. Just kind of dry fitting the steps. The hinges go on the inside, and then we're going to extend the leg so that it holds it in place. Want to make sure you're centered on your door. So I've got it centered on the door, and then we're going to put the first 2 screws in here just to hold it in place. Okay, next step is to go ahead and put a screw in each one of these corners. We're going to lift the steps, we're going to lock it in place, and we may have to adjust the jambs a little bit, but we'll have to see what we have to do there. So let's see if now it will in fact lift up and lock in place.
Okay, let me come outside.
Yeah, these lock a little bit differently than the other steps up front. They've got a twist. And what I've discovered now is that we're not quite as centered as I wanted to be. I'm flush up against the jamb here, and I'm off just a little bit. So I'm going to pull these screws and I'm going to slide it to the right just a little bit. Actually, I think what I'm going to do is put a screw in here and in here, and then I can take those screws out and bump it over a little bit. There is the installation of the steps. It operates smoothly. It was very simple to install, and there we go. The reason we wanted to install these MORryde step above steps on the front of the camper was twofold. One, it gave us the room to put the storage box like I showed you before, so we can store some things once the old steps were out. And two, we traveled with my mother-in-law, who's a little over 90, and it's much easier for her to go up this kind of step than it is for her to go up the other types of steps. It's not as big a step for her, and when you're on the road, the way you access the bathroom in this camper is you have to access it through the bedroom. So there you have it, the installation of the MORryde storage box and the MORryde step above steps. Till later, this is Paul saying bye, y'all.